Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sorry We're Closed. We're here on episode number 7. And I can't thank you guys enough already for the support we have. We're almost at 1,000 plays or 1,000 listens, and only 6 episodes in. It's not taking off, but it's a great little podcast we got going right now, and I appreciate everyone who has decided to listen and enjoy any type of story that I tell. And so far, it's been mostly baseball stuff, baseball stories. But I figured I'd dive in a little bit to my personal life and what made me become a modern day Sam Malone, a modern day ex-Red Sox reliever who now owns a bar. I own 2, but now owns a bar, right? So it's 2013, and I just got drafted by the Red Sox in 2012. It's my second offseason, and I'm moving to Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken is kind of a place in New Jersey, if you're not familiar with the area. It's kind of I know a lot of people from Mass, it's kind of almost like a Brookline, I guess, of Boston. It's right outside the city. So you have Manhattan, you have the Hudson River, and then you have Hoboken. So it's right there. Almost everyone in town works in Manhattan. It's just one of those places where a lot of it, from anywhere from between 22 and 40-year-old people live, and it's a fun place. It's a great place to go out, and it's just it's almost like College Park #2, only bigger city. It's just a bunch of people that you see all the time because you go out there on the weekend, you see the same people. But 2013, I end up going out to a bar called Green Rock, right? And I go to the bar and I walk in. It's super crowded, and it's a smaller bar, and I just was not about it. So I leave. I end up going to a place. Mills Tavern was my place, the place I went. And my old high school baseball coach reaches out to me, and he goes, "Hey, Pat, how you liking Hoboken?" My high school baseball coach grew up in Hoboken, and his son, who's the one who was reaching out to me, was an assistant at the time for my high school team, and then had become the head coach. But he asked me, he goes, "Well, how you liking Hoboken?" I was like, "Oh, it's great. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good-looking girls. It's a 22-year-old baseball player's dream, right?" And he goes, "You got to go back to Green Rock, or you got to go to Green Rock, I should say." And I said, "Oh, I've been." Too small, didn't like it, not my scene. And he goes, no, you got to go back, and you got to introduce yourself to Paul Marcotte. Now, I'm calling out Paulie here. He was an owner of Green Rock, still is an owner of Green Rock. And so I said, okay, I'll go back. So I went back, introduced myself. Whatever, we exchanged, had fun, and I had some nice drinks. It was a good time, right? So I started slowly going there, mainly on Sundays. It's Sunday Fun Day in Hoboken. If you're familiar at all with the place, Sunday Fun Day is big in Hoboken. People love to go out for football, quote unquote football. Most people are just out there to drink. Football is just the excuse to be there. But that was the big thing. And Sunday slowly but surely turned into my absolute favorite day to go out, because it was just like an all-day affair. You get up at 11 or 10 a.m. in the morning, and you get ready. You head down to the bar around noon, 12:30, and you'd stay out for the Giants game. Usually, the Giants played around 1. So at about halftime of the Giants game, you went from this place called Wicked Wolf, and you'd go over to Green Rock. And it was just a great little system. You had a good group of people there, all had a lot of fun together. There was just a healthy amount of enough drama to make things interesting. I try to stay out of the drama, but it was a good time. I really enjoyed it, and I became friendly. Paul had now left town, but one of his partners stayed there, a guy by the name of Danny Gray, and had stayed around, and I became friendly with Danny. Ended up being, my drinking buddy, quote unquote, on Sundays, and we became friends, became friendly. It is what it is. We had a great little group of people that like to go out, and it was a great bar, and it was a great time. We got some special treatment, obviously. I was able to skip the line, because this damn place gets enormous. But again, it was great. Started knowing all the bartenders, started knowing all the staff there, and Yeah, it was just a nice like hometown bar, almost kind of like a Cheers, where you kind of say, you go where everybody knows your name, and that's kind of what it felt like at Green Rock. It was, a place where, yeah, there was definitely people that you didn't know, but there was like a good core group of regulars that made that place awesome. And that over the years now, from 2013, 14 to now 2020, that core group has changed over the years. When I was going there in the beginning, it was a bunch of people that were in their probably early 30s or so, late 20s. I was 22, 23, and now as I'm getting closer, now I'm 29 now. It's people my age, a little people, some younger people, a few people older, but very few of those old heads are still there. And it's a different group now, and it's constantly evolving over there at Green Rock. And it's one of the places, one of the reasons I loved it so much was that they'd be able to bring people in and staff members in that are able to continue that feeling at Green Rock, that it's that same place it was when I first started going there in 13, where you were part of the family. And people enjoy that, people enjoy coming to Green Rock. People enjoy doing those things. And again, it's that sense of family. And it's honestly part of the business plan that I use over there now is the sense that I'm going to continue taking care of those regulars. I'm going to continue taking care of, let's say, 100 regulars. I'll give them a free couple drinks here and there. And I'm not going to make money off you, but I'll make money off the 40 people that you keep telling to come here because you have such a good time here. And now they become regulars and they extend their network. Now they're bringing people as well. And it's a really, in my opinion, a very sound business plan. It's a way to be able to get people in the door and have such a good time based off the free drinks, based off the atmosphere we'll be able to provide, based off of, being able to come and talk to me and feel like, you're my best friend. 90% of the people there, I don't even know their name, but because it's impossible to keep up with those, that many names, but everyone feels like I'm, a good friend of theirs. And now you change that philosophy in a business where it goes from going to your favorite bar to you're going there to support a friend now. And that now, if you can have a group of 1,000 friends that all think they're coming to support you, that's a successful business. But it was one of the things that drew me to Green Rock. I didn't always, obviously, my high school baseball coach got me back there, but it wasn't always that. And then, but slowly but surely it does. So, I want to get people in the door once, twice, now 3 times. Because by the 3rd time or so, now you know people. You either know me, you know one of my partners, a couple bartenders who treat you well. You know someone by that 3rd time, and now you're more than likely going to come back time and time again. So again, it's one of the places that drew it. But in 2018, I got released by the Mariners in May, and then about 2 months later, month and a half later, the guy Danny Gray calls me up and goes, "Hey, I'm doing a sushi restaurant in Hoboken. I would love for you to join me. I would love to have you on as a partner." And I jumped at it. Didn't have a job. Had some money in the bank from baseball. And I said, whatever percentage you'll give me, I'll buy. So I did. Bought the sushi restaurant. I never tried sushi in my life. When they tell you when you're investing, to invest in what you know, this was not one of those cases. I'd never had sushi before. I'd never been in the restaurant industry before. But the thing that I knew was that I thought that this guy was great at concepting restaurants and running restaurants. Turned out I was right. But dove in head first. When we got there, I don't want to run a sushi restaurant, but when we got in, opened in November of 2018, and I asked Danny if he would mind if I just hung out, learned from him, listened to him, did things for him, and I did. I was able to figure out exactly how to kind of run a restaurant. Now, Saku is kind of a pain. It's a different clientele, higher end clientele. A lot of people like to complain. I had a complaint once that I didn't have a diverse enough clientele, which is a ridiculous complaint, because how am I supposed to stop people from coming in because I have too many white people in the room or the restaurant at the time? I can't do that. I can't have a quota of different ethnicities in my bar. So it was the most ridiculous complaint, and that's when I knew I didn't like the business because people just say things and you just gotta apologize and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah blah. That's not really my style. So not really my type of place to run. However, at the time they had brought up and said, hey, listen, I had always had interest in Green Rock because it was such a lucrative business. They had been around now 18 years, and I thought it was a really good business plan, and I thought that I could run that place. I thought I could do a good job over there, and I had identified some weaknesses in Danny that I thought were there. And he's probably one of the more honest people you can meet. So he's going to be he was very easy to identify weaknesses because he'd tell you what his weaknesses were. And I had my own weaknesses, and we meshed well. But I thought, based off of my skill set, I was better off at the sports bar than I was at the sushi restaurant. So we had just talked about it one day, and it kind of came up to, hey, let's put an offer. Let's see if you can, because Danny was already a partner over there. Get me a meeting. Let's see if I can talk to the guy, see if he has any interest. He's a little bit older, he's in his 40s. There was some thought that maybe he didn't really like owning Green Rock anymore, kind of wanted to move on. And so I said, let's put an offer in. So I went up to the guy, had a meeting with him, and he gave me his spiel, I gave him my spiel, and we got into contract, got into talks, and he accepted my offer. Long story short, 6 months later after he accepted it, finally get the deal done. And it takes quite a bit of a process to going through all of that. It's kind of like buying a house, but we got the job done, right? And since then, that is kind of consumed my life in the sense that I was going back to school, so I went back to Monmouth University at the same time I bought the restaurant. And I still, although I had a good sense of business and I had a good sense of how to kind of run a business, I was jumping into a restaurant or bar that was diving into its busy season. And I really didn't know what I was doing on the back end. And my partners, because they had never run the back end, because this other guy had done it the whole time, they didn't really know how to help me through it. So I was kind of learning on the fly on how to operate and run this bar, which was a very stressful time. I always tell people that the most stressful time in my life so far has been that first month. It was far more stressful than baseball ever was. And it was just an absolute nightmare. I remember Tuesdays in particular, I would go down to Monmouth. I had class all day, and I'd go down to Monmouth, and I would we need to have class all day, and then I'd drive up to Hoboken, park my truck, walk down to the PATH train, take it into the city. I'd live stream with Jared Carabas, Eric Hubbs, and then certain other people that had come in, and I would do that, and then I would take the PATH train back. That was from 7 to about 10:30. Take the PATH train back, go right to Green Rock, which is right off the path. Go in there, and from about 10:30 to about 1 in the morning, I would try to figure out how to catch up on bills, figure out how to make sure that there's a whole mechanism to running a bar and keeping it in check, specifically with liquor companies, and trying to learn all that. And then I'd go to bed at 1:30 in the morning. I'd wake up at 8 o'clock, and I'd be driving back to Monmouth to go down to school again. So it was an absolute zoo. But once that whole thing was over, and I kind of got my routine down, kind of figured out exactly how I was going to do everything, and kind of picked up what was supposed to happen here at Green Rock, it turned out to be probably the best investment decision I've ever made. Granted, it was, and it was 9 months before a pandemic that I bought in. That was tough timing, huh? But I've learned so much, and I'm now going as a bar owner. 6 months in, 7 months in, I am now going through one of the worst recessions of all time. It's not even like people aren't willing to spend money. We can be open. We aren't even allowed to be open. We're doing some outdoor dining. We're working with the town to kind of get as much as we can. But the amount that I learned through all this is great. but on top of it, I get to be that modern day Sam Malone. I get to walk into a bar and everyone I almost feel like I'm Norm. I walk in, like, Pat, what's up, man? And you just, from when we're crowded, I walk in, I probably feel like I'm the president. I'm shaking hands, kissing babies on the 40-foot walk to the bar. And it's such a unique experience there to kind of be the guy. You almost feel like the guy that's putting together the party for all of your friends in town, and everyone comes. And, you go behind the bar, everyone's asking you, calling out, mainly because I give a lot of free shots away. But it's such a unique experience and a unique place where people can kind of come and it's not snooty. It's not, it's not like where, like, you got to be dressed to the nines to be there. Like, you go, you put a t-shirt and jeans on, you show up, drink a good amount, and go home. The bouncers there are good, and those guys are going to take care of you no matter how rude you are when you're hammered to them. They're going to take care of you. They don't take it personally. The police department in town has been very helpful to us. Like, it's just been a really, really fun place to be. And the stress that went into getting it, and the stress that went into the beginning, and now the stress we got now, even during a pandemic, that first month was more stressful than what I've been going through now. And again, it's all because of how worth it the place is and how much fun the people are there provide, even me. A lot of people think, maybe I'm too cool for school sometimes or something like that. When in reality, I probably care more about those people and the people that come there and drink with me there than they do of me, or they at least think that I do. It's such a fun place, such a unique place. And that's why I promoted so much on Twitter. That's why, we're doing the fun stuff where we're bringing Jared's jersey in there. And, I bring the Barstool guys in because it's just such a unique place to come and drink. And hopefully not get carried away, but obviously people do. But it's a really fun place. So if you haven't already, if you're in the Hoboken area, please come check out Green Rock. It's the Hoboken version of Cheers. You'll see yours truly, Sam Malone, there probably, depending on when you're there. I'm not there all the time, but and I don't tend the bar, or at least not well, so you won't see that. But come check it out, 70 Hudson Street in Hoboken, New Jersey. And if you're into sushi, go uptown to Saku. It's on 936 Park Avenue, which is on the corner of 10th and Park in Hoboken. Check them out. Personally, a great night. Dinner at Saku, party at Green Rock. That's probably the best thing you can do in Hoboken, in my opinion. So check that out. But that's all I got for you guys today. A little backstory on how I became Sam Malone and how lucky I am to even have both these places in Hoboken, and the timing and all of that goes into it. I never thought 2 years out of baseball I'd owned 2 restaurants already, and have had 3 or 4 more pitched to me that I've turned down, but 3 or 4 more that's been pitched to me. It's a really crazy ride that I've been on since baseball has ended for me. But again, check those out, guys. I think I just saw Jared tweet. Looks like the Red Sox are winning, so hopefully they take at least one from New York tonight. But until next time, guys, go check out the YouTube page. Me and Giraffe Neck Mark do a lot of stuff on there. Each week we do a little baseball thing. Check those out every Friday. I post all these videos, all the Sorry We're Closed videos on the YouTube page as well, so subscribe there. Obviously, you guys know where to find me on Instagram and Twitter. And subscribe, 5-star rating to this bad boy. Again, if you're not giving me 5 stars, you can go to hell. And I hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week. I will be sending out episode 8 on Thursday. As always, 5 a.m. Monday, Thursday is when we release these. And until the next time, guys, I will talk to you later.